stood up.
Okay, good afternoon everybody and welcome to Blankenheim for this media conference with Adam Wharton. As ever, if we can keep it to 3 questions per person in the first round, and obviously at the end we'll have a very short section embargoed until 10:30 PM UK time this evening. So Rob, do you want to get us underway?
Adam, lovely to see you. Is that mic on? Can we hear that?
Hello. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll turn this on. It doesn't normally happen like this, I promise you.
Rob, do you want to give that one a try?
It's on now, they've turned it on. Adam,
Yeah.
lovely to see you.
Thank you.
First and foremost, huge congratulations. You made an awful lot of people smile when you got the call up. How does it feel? You're at your first major tournament at the age of 20. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's a surreal feeling. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting it. I've obviously only just gone into the Premier League, so wasn't expecting anything. It was more just sort of a bonus kind of thing if I did get in, so absolutely delighted, and yeah, just get to do what I love at the top stage. Can't beat it.
I know that you only made your under-21s debut in March, I think. So it must feel a bit like a whirlwind having only made your under-21s debut in March.
Yeah.
Is it a pinch me moment? Have you had to kind of, wake up one moment and think, how did I get here?
I've been all right, to be honest. I don't really think about it too much. It's just more football for me. That's how I look at it. But yeah, it's gone really fast. I've really enjoyed the last 6 months, and I just want to keep playing football, getting better. So yeah, absolutely delighted.
Listen, you're the only member of the squad we're going to get to speak to at the moment, and there's a big headline and a big concern about John Stones, who had that ankle injury and now he's ill, hasn't been able to train. How is he?
No idea. I've not seen him today, so I've just been told he's ill. So I think he's just in his room. So yeah, I've not seen any of him today.
Your opportunity might depend on one of those big names being ill, being injured, not being available. Is that a weird feeling, to feel so close to these guys and part of the team and yet thinking, yeah, but I want to play?
I don't really look at it that way. For me, the manager picks the team. Obviously, there's some unbelievable players, and if I'm chose to play, then I'm more than ready. But no, whoever's on the pitch, I'm sure they'll step up and perform and help the team get the result that we want.
You made your professional debut 22 months ago. You were playing the Championship in January. You made your Premier League debut in February, and now you're at a major tournament. So how would you sum up a pretty incredible 2 years?
It's hard, really. It's just a dream come true. I think every kid who grows up playing football wants to play in the Premier League, play for the country. I got to, play for the team that I supported to begin with. Really enjoyed that, and then it's just continued with that since moving to the Premier League, and then now here. So yeah, it's all been very fast, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
You're one of a new group of really talented young players. I was just wondering, for yourself, does it feel like there's a new generation coming through?
You could say that, but I think there's still, you know, some players that have been in the team for a long time really. So I think there's a mixture, which is always good. But yeah, there's obviously some top young players in the team. So I think it's good to have that little mix. And yeah, I think if you're good enough, you're old enough.
And we've heard that you've shone in training. You made your debut and were impressive there as well. I was just wondering, what did Gareth Southgate say to you?
What, after the game?
After the game, and when he told you you were going to be part of his 26?
Just sort of congratulations, well done, on obviously the prep camp. And yeah, just told me to just keep going. And, you know, that's all I can do, just try my hardest to impress throughout the week and when I get given the opportunity.
Thanks.
Adam, hi, congratulations. After your debut, Gareth Southgate said that one of the reasons why he liked you was that you see the pictures early, you play forward quickly. Was there any particular player, whether at Blackburn or outside of Blackburn, that you looked at and learned from? Thank you.
I wouldn't say one in particular. I watch quite a lot of football, obviously when it's on TV. I just enjoy watching football, the top games especially. And I think I just pick up things from all the top players, and, you know, just try to implement that in my game. So there's not one in particular, but obviously there's a lot of good players that you see. And, you know, if I can add little bits of their game to my game, then I'm going to try and do that to help improve myself.
Hi Adam, congratulations.
Thank you.
Our commentary team on TalkSport said that it was one of the most confident and assured England debuts they'd ever seen. Bearing in mind you said you didn't expect to get the call up, how do you think that audition went? How did you feel?
Yeah, I think I've done well. What was it, 20, 30 minutes I think. But yeah, for me, it was just another football match. I've been playing football my whole life, so the way I look at it, it's another game. Try my best in every single game that I play. So, yeah, I think I've done all right. I never really look at my performances and think, oh, it's amazing, because there's always certain bits that you can improve on. So, yeah, for me, really happy to make my debut and perform the way I did, but yeah, there's always room for improvement.
What did you think you could have improved? Because I mean, it was 100% pass completion rate, I think.
Yeah, maybe just a couple of bits of positioning, out of possession, just a couple of times. Obviously, it's only a short period of time, but just little bits, so small details, especially at this level, that make such a difference. And yeah, just positioning, certain moments could have been in different positions. Maybe I passed it one way, but I could have maybe skipped a player to, you know, progress the ball faster. But yeah, it's just the little things really.
And just finally, Declan Rice was full of praise when I sat down and spoke to him as well for you. Have you managed to sit down and have a chat with him? You know, bearing in mind you could potentially partner him in midfield. Yeah,
I've spoke to Declan. He's a top player. You've seen that over the past few seasons, especially this season. The way that Arsenal play, I think, really has shown what he can produce this season. And yeah, he's a top guy off the pitch as well. So speaking to him, just getting them little things, like I said, and just everyone really, just learning off everyone. But especially him, obviously similar positions. Yeah, it's good to sort of pick up on them little things and details. But yeah, he's really welcomed me into the squad, definitely.
What was his best nugget of advice for you?
There's none in particular I can that spring to mind, but just even if it's like body positioning, when the ball's in a certain position, or even like bits of communication, stuff like that. Yeah, it just helps you when you're on the pitch, and when you're playing with them, the way they communicate as well makes it a lot easier for you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Hi, Adam.
Hi.
A question regarding your coach at Crystal Palace. So what makes Oliver Glasner so special for you? Can you compare him to Gareth Southgate? And what part does Glasner play in the fact that 4 Palace players are nominated for the Euros?
I think he's a top coach. I think you can see since he's come in for the last part of the season, the way that we've played's changed. That's his way of playing, and we've been getting the results to show for our performances. But yeah, he's brought in a new way of playing, new formation. He makes sure every session's intense. If we're not intense enough, if we're not training to the right standard, he'll let us know. And as players, that's what you want. You want training to be at a high standard, because when you go into the games, then you can produce. So yeah, I think he's been massive, especially for the 4 Palace lads, for us to get chosen. I think he's definitely helped. And yeah, he's like tactically very good. And in training, we work on the tactical side quite a lot. And it just makes it so much easier for you as players when he tells you what he wants you to do, where he wants you to be. So he's a top manager for sure.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I just wondered what your family made of it when you told them you made the 26, and also how important have they been in where you are today?
I think they were probably happier than I was when they received the news, especially my parents. They were over the moon. They were just delighted for me, I think. And yeah, they were just proud of how far I've come, I think, especially in such a short period of time. And they all, really enjoy watching the football as well, so that, adds that little bit more. Just really delighted.
And they've been important to you and getting you to where you are?
Yeah, massive. I've got 2 brothers that I grew up with, both older. Playing with them in the garden. Obviously, they probably beat me up a few times in the garden. That all helps. Getting used to the physical side of the game and things like that. My dad's a massive football fan. He gives me loads of advice, even still now. Very sporty family, all very supportive. So that definitely, helped me, growing up and getting into it, and then continuing to support me, even when I've not been playing, when I was in the youth setup. So, yeah, I don't think I'd be here without them, definitely.
Is your dad's advice good advice?
I'll say yeah, but sometimes no.
Do we have any other questions in the live section? Come back to Rob.
You mentioned your dad there. He's described you, I think, when he's done a couple of media interviews, as a bit of a loner. Is he right? And I wonder how easy it is to fit in with, you've got Harry Kane, you've got Jude Bellingham, you've got Phil Foden, these superstars that you're now training with and playing with.
I think loner's a bit harsh. No, I'm not. I don't have a million friends. I sort of keep myself to myself. And that's just how I've always been. I've always been, really. And it sort of works for me. I live on my own in London now, so I'm not always out with my friends doing this and that. And I think part of being a footballer, you can't go out on the weekends when you're growing up and things like this. They're the sort of sacrifices you have to make. So yeah, I'm not a loner, but I'm not like the most outgoing person you're ever going to meet. I'm not going to go into a room of people I don't know and just be very, very loud. Just keep myself to myself.
The reason I ask is that you're clearly around some massive stars now.
Yeah.
You've got to know the Palace lads, you've had time to get to know them.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're in an England squad with these huge names. Has that been difficult?
No, I think all the lads have made it very easy. They're all very welcoming, all happy to chat, and so that's definitely made it easy. But yeah, we're all involved in football. There's plenty of things to talk about in that sense. So yeah, I've spoke to probably all of the lads now, and yeah, not one of them's been sort of difficult to speak to. So yeah, they made it very easy.
Okay, that concludes the live section. We'll now move on to a short section